All right, settle down, everyone. Gather round, because today is the day I've been dreaming of since episode 1. You know what I'm talking about, Maya?
Oh no. Oh, I have a bad feeling about this. What have you been planning, Darius?
The Great Actually Reckoning. Remember that test recording we did for episode 1? The one that sounded like, what was it, the inside of a running dishwasher because of our mic placement fail? Well, I went back and counted, and guess what?
47 actuallys. I have the transcript right here, Darius. I knew you'd bring it up. Page 2, line 7, and actually, I think page 3, line 12. It's actually a good point.
Oh, okay, I get it. Maya was nervous. It was our first time. Give a girl a break. Are we really starting the episode by publicly shaming Maya?
Shaming? No, Zara. This is a celebration. Because today, we're going to talk about how to make those actuallys disappear. Poof, gone. This, my friends, is the magic of audio editing.
And it's not just about cutting filler words, although that's a big part of it. Editing is crucial. It's what transforms raw, messy audio into something polished and professional, something people actually want to listen to.
Honestly, when we first started, I thought editing was like cheating. Like you were supposed to just get it perfect the first time. I remember spending like 4 hours trying to perfect episode 1. It was a nightmare.
4 hours on a 10-minute episode? That's dedication, I guess.
See, that's a common misconception, Zara. Editing isn't cheating, it's revision. Think of it like writing a paper for school. You don't just turn in your first draft, do you? You revise, you refine, you cut out the unnecessary bits. You make sure it flows. That's exactly what audio editing for your podcast is.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Like, the content is still ours, our voices, our ideas, but we're just making it better.
Exactly. Pros actually cut between 20 to 30% of their raw audio. That's a huge amount. It's about respecting your listeners' time and delivering the clearest, most engaging version of your message.
Yeah, and I've got a golden rule for anyone starting out. When in doubt, keep it. You can always come back and cut later. It's way harder to add something you already deleted. It's like, once it's gone, it's really gone, you know?
That's super helpful, actually. My perfectionist brain tends to want to delete everything I think might not be perfect, and then I'm left with like a minute of audio.
No, you want to preserve the essence. As I always say, the story was always there. Editing just clears the path to it.
Deep, Zara. Very deep. Okay, so how do we actually do this clearing the path thing? What tools are we talking about?
Good question. There are 3 main tiers of software. For beginners, or honestly anyone on a budget, there are some amazing free options. Audacity is kind of the industry standard for free. It looks a little complex at first glance, but really, you only need to master about 5 key moves.
I've heard of Audacity, and if you have an Apple device, GarageBand is pre-installed and super user-friendly. It's great for just getting started without feeling overwhelmed.
And don't forget Spotify for podcasters, formerly known as Anchor. It's got recording, editing, and publishing all in one app, and it's free. Super simple, especially if you're just using your phone.
Then there's the affordable tier. This is where Descript comes in. It's about $12 a month, but it's remarkable. You know how you edit a text document? Descript lets you edit audio by editing a text transcript of your audio.
That's wild. It's either the greatest invention ever or like sci-fi horror film territory. You're telling me I can just delete words from a transcript and they'll disappear from the audio? What if it messes up the cadence?
It's surprisingly good at maintaining natural flow, Zara. It even has an AI voice cloning feature, so you can correct small mistakes without re-recording. It's a game changer. There's even a student version available.
Okay, so once we have our software, what are the actual moves we need to make? Like, what are the basics of cutting the cringe?
The 5 moves. This is where the real magic happens. Move number 1, the clean cut. This is your bread and butter. It's just highlighting and deleting unwanted audio. Think coughs, false starts, long silences, phone rings, accidental mic bumps.
Important tip: always zoom in when you're doing clean cuts. You want to cut in the silence between words, not mid-word, otherwise it sounds really choppy and unnatural.
Got it. Zoom in, cut in the silence. What's next?
Move number 2, the fade. This is about smoothing things out. You know how sometimes music just cuts in or out super abruptly? That's a hard cut. We don't want that. A fade gradually brings the audio in or out, so it enters and exits smoothly. It's much nicer on the ears.
Yes, consistency is comfort for the listener. Jarring sounds take them out of the experience.
Totally. So, clean cuts for mistakes, fades for smooth transitions. What else?
Move number 3, noise reduction. This one's a lifesaver, especially if you're recording at home. Have you ever had that subtle background hum in your recordings, like an air conditioner, or your computer fan, or even just the ambient room noise?
You can sample a section of that background hum, then tell the software to remove that specific noise profile from your entire recording. In Audacity, it's literally 3 clicks. It transforms a bedroom recording into something that sounds studio quality. It's magic.
That's incredible. I always thought you needed super expensive equipment for that. Okay, what's move 4?
Move number 4, level balancing. This is all about making sure everyone sounds about the same volume. You know when you're listening to a podcast and one person is super loud and the next person is barely audible, so you're constantly reaching for the volume dial?
Oh my gosh, yes. It's so annoying. I always have to adjust my headphones.
This move prevents that. It normalizes loud and quiet voices to a consistent volume. In Audacity, it's called normalize. In GarageBand, you can just drag the volume track. It makes the listening experience so much more comfortable.
And finally, move number 5, the hunt. This is where we go after those filler words, like, so basically, they slow the listener down.
Ah, my old nemesis, the actuallys and you knows.
Exactly. But here's the trick. You don't want to remove every single one. If you have 0 filler words, you sound robotic. A few here and there make you sound human. Think of it like weeding a garden. You pull the big obvious weeds, the ones that are choking everything else. You don't try to remove every molecule of dirt. A little dirt is natural.
That's a perfect metaphor, Darius. You want to clear the path, not sterilize the entire field.
Okay, those 5 moves sound really doable, but actually hearing it makes a huge difference. But how do you know when to stop? Like Zara mentioned, spending 4 hours on a 10-minute clip, that's a lot. Any comment, Darius?
Yeah, I definitely went down a rabbit hole of editing. I kept thinking, I can just fix this tiny little pause, and then it would lead to another and another. I need a framework.
That's what I call rabbit hole editing. And you're right, Darius, you need a framework. I use what I call the must cut, judgment call, and never cut categories. It helps you decide what to keep and what to get rid of.
Okay, lay it on me. I'm ready to learn from my past perfectionist mistakes.
All right, so must cut is pretty straightforward. These are things you always remove. Long silences over 2 seconds, technical problems like phone rings, feedback squeals, mic bumps, false starts when someone begins a sentence, stops, and restarts, excessive filler words that genuinely slow the listener down, and any pre-show or post-show chatter that accidentally gets recorded.
Like all the times I ask if we're actually recording before we start. Good to know. What about judgment call?
Judgment call means you keep or cut based on context. Natural laughter, keep it if it's genuine and adds to the moment, but cut if it's excessive, like someone laughing every 30 seconds. We might keep 1 or 2 to sound human, but not all 48. Brief crosstalk, keep if it's energetic, cut if it's confusing. And quick mental recoveries, keep if they're short, cut if they turn into rambling.
That's where the art comes in, I guess. It's not just a strict rule book. You have to feel it out.
Exactly. And then there's the never cut category. These are the gold. You always keep these. Genuine emotional moments. These are what make a podcast authentic and relatable. Pauses where a guest or host is clearly thinking deeply before speaking. Laughter that arose from something actually funny and relevant. And unexpected, raw, honest moments. These are the realness of real conversation. They're what connect you to your audience.
That's a really good point about the never cut stuff. It's like you want to make it polished, but not so polished that it loses its soul. I actually got to experience that firsthand this past weekend.
Oh, what happened?
Remember how I mentioned in episode 2 that I wanted to interview my grandfather about emigrating from Haiti when he was 16? Not for the podcast, just for myself?
Yeah, I remember. Did you do it?
Yeah, I did. Over the weekend, we sat down and he talked for 2 hours, just telling his story. And he's never really talked about it like that before, not to me anyway. It was a lot.
Wow, Darius, that's incredible. How did it feel?
It was powerful. I mean, the recording did cry. I was fine. But no, seriously, I cried twice. Just hearing everything, it really changed me, I think. And after hearing Jordan's advice in episode 2 about authentic moments, I knew this audio would definitely need the never cut approach. I mean, it's not for the podcast, it's just for me, but it's gold.
That's really amazing, Darius. It sounds like you captured something truly special. And that's exactly what we mean by never cut. Those genuine emotional moments are the entire point sometimes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. It really puts editing into perspective, that it's not just about technical fixes, but about preserving the heart of the conversation.
Totally. So, we've talked about cutting the cringe, cleaning up the audio, preserving the good stuff. What else do we need to do to make our podcast sound pro?
The finishing touches. This is where we talk about sonic branding, the three musical elements that make every professional podcast sound polished. Your intro, transition stings, and outro.
Ah, like the music we hear at the beginning and end of our show, and those little musical bursts in between segments.
Exactly. The intro is 15-30 seconds, plays at the start, sets the tone. It might just be music, or music under a quick verbal welcome. Transition stings are short, 3 to 8 second musical bridges between segments. They signal that section is done, something new is coming. It keeps the episode from feeling like one continuous blob.
And the outro is the music that closes the episode, usually fading up as we say goodbye and deliver any calls to action.
Right, like don't forget to subscribe or follow us on social media. But where do we get this music? We can't just use songs from Spotify, can we?
Absolutely not. Big warning here. Never use copyrighted music without permission. That's a surefire way to get your podcast removed. You need royalty-free music. There are tons of great sources. Free Music Archive, CC Mixter, YouTube Audio Library, and a huge shout out to Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech. His music is everywhere, and it's awesome.
Oh, Kevin MacLeod! I know his stuff. It's like the unofficial soundtrack to half the YouTube videos out there. So many bangers.
And I've heard about AI tools now too, like Suno or Udio. Can we use those?
Yes, you can, but always check their terms of service regarding commercial use or attribution. They're definitely a new frontier for custom music.
All right, so we've got our intro, our stings, our outro, and all the editing moves. We're basically pros now, right?
We're definitely on our way. So, just to recap for everyone listening, we started with why editing matters. It's revision, not deception. Then we talked about the tools, free options like Audacity and GarageBand, and the amazing Descript.
And then we broke down the 5 moves: the clean cut, the fade, noise reduction, level balancing, and the hunt.
Plus, we discussed the editing mindset, must cut, judgment call, and never cut categories to avoid that rabbit hole editing.
And finally, those finishing touches. Intro, transition stings, and outro, along with where to find royalty-free music. The biggest takeaway, for me at least, is that editing isn't about being perfect, it's about being published. The perfect is the enemy of the published, you know?
Ooh, Maya, that's a t-shirt quote right there. I'm getting that printed. Seriously, if you're out there making something, don't let the fear of not being perfect stop you from sharing it. Just get it out there and you can always improve later.
Absolutely. Editing makes your story clearer, but the story has to exist first. So keep recording, keep creating, and don't be afraid to cut the cringe.
We hope you feel a little less scared of the edit button now. Next time in episode 4, we're going to be talking about something super important once you've made your awesome podcast. How to find your audience, grow your listenership, and build a community around what you've made. It's where Mic Drop Academy practices what it preaches. As always, be sure to check out the Family Vision Education Center website as well as the Jelly Bean Academy website.
That's right. So make sure you share this episode with a friend and follow our Mysteries in the Dark podcasts on rss.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll catch you next time.
Until then, happy editing.